An excellent hello, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from Joy 99.7 FM in Accra at digital address GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country including A1 Radio in Bolgatanga, Radio 123 in Tamale, Radio Sumale. Is also on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, DigiBank, Let's Go, and Telesol 4G. Just a touch. In this edition, Communications Ministry justifies shutdown of Radio Tong in the Volta region as it says the NCA had the right to close down the community radio station for promoting separatist agenda.
What they were communicating was about this separatist movement. The National Communications Authority has every responsibility to make sure that you operate within the authorization that you.
We have details as the management of Radio Gold accuses the NCA of failing to acknowledge receipt of the renewal application since June last year.
We put in our application on June 20th, 2019, but as of today, we've not received any acknowledgement of our application. We don't know whether our application even meets the requirements for fresh authorization. We just don't know.
Also, no MP received a bribe. Member of Parliament Select Committee on Health rejects so-called leaked memo suggesting members on the committee received 100,000 honorarium from the NHIA.
I contacted the ranking member who was there at the time, and he says to me that he doesn't know anything about it.
And on our Arrive Alive campaign today, a spotlight on the nuisance of commercial motorbikes and tricycles, the story of a rider with a broken spine after a crash.
Sped into my lane. His brakes failed and his car crashed into ours, injuring the passengers. I was affected in the hands, waist and knees.
More coming up ahead of the Joy News documentary Tricycle Invasion set for broadcast next week in sports.
Former Communications Director of the Ghana Football Association, Ibrahim Sani Dara, appointed as the CAF Media Officer for the 2020 CAF Super Cup.
And love brewed in the political pot to bring you the story behind the marriage of the Deputy National Youth Organizer of the NDC and staunch member of the NPP, Mami Efiakoto. Details as they say they have become a symbol of political unity and a lesson for party members not to be blinded by partisanship. All that and more coming up here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apawu. Please stay for details. And the Communications Ministry has justified the shutdown of the community radio station Radio Tong in the Volta region. The station was closed down on Wednesday by the NCA on what it says was of national security and in the public interest. It's the latest shutdown of a radio station after Radio Gold, Radio XYZ and others were sealed last year. Since the closures, government has come under some criticism. A pioneer of commercial radio in Ghana, Dr. Charles Rekubrobe, has accused government of stifling press freedom. He argues that the NCA has no right to shut down a radio station on ethical grounds.
Today's action of closing Radio Tongu, has government given itself the editorial discretion to decide what content is. That is constitutionally defined as the role of the National Media Commission. I don't see any role in NCA deciding what is in the state security, when there's a National Security Council, when there's a National Media Council. And in fact, if anybody thought that Tongu had breached any law or any regulations, they should have been so dealt with.
But Deputy Communications Minister George Anda disagrees. He says the NCA had the power to close it down since Radio Tong was registered as a community radio station and it was in the right of the authority to suspend it.
There was a report that was received from the district security council complaining about the content, and indeed what they were communicating was about this separatist movement, about this Western Togoland, which is a national security issue. National Communications Authority called a meeting of all the parties, the District Security Council, and the petitioners. Operators of the radio station didn't honor the invitation. They didn't attend that meeting. So at that meeting, the decision that was taken was based on the information that was available. And indeed, you do recall, you can do those checks yourself, the operators of that radio station had even previously been arrested by the police for inciting these business. You understand? So, but if you have an authorization to operate a community radio station, which is not supposed to be carrying advertising, and you're supposed to be in community work, and you're operating as a commercial radio station, then the National Communications Authority has every responsibility to make sure that you operate within the authorization that you've been given.
Deputy Communications Minister George Anda, let's stay on the closure of radio stations because the management of Radio Gold has accused the National Communications Authority of failing to respond to or acknowledge receipt of the application for reauthorization. Radio Gold and Radio XYZ were both shut down in May 2019 for operating without valid authorizations. Radio Gold's programs manager Richard Osei-Ejapong says the station had applied for authorization in June 2019, but the NCA has still not responded.
We made a petition to the Select Committee on Communication in Parliament. We were directed that together with all other affected stations, we should put in fresh applications as requested by the NCA and the Ministry of Communications. We did that. We had a follow-up meeting. At that meeting, we were told that all cases in court should be withdrawn. We've done that too. But in the case of Radio Gold, we put in our application on June 20th, 2019. But as of today, I am speaking to you. Actually, in December, the Select Committee on Communication called us into a meeting to inform us that all efforts they are putting to ensure that this matter is resolved is not getting anywhere because they are not getting any positive response from the NCA and the Ministry of Communication, and so therefore that is the best they could do. So as of now, we've not received any acknowledgement of our application. We don't know whether our application even meets the requirements for fresh authorization. We just don't know. Nothing is happening from the NCA.
Now, the programs manager for Radio Gold, Richard Osei-Ejapong, government has since confirmed that Radio Gold has started processes for the reauthorization, but Joy News has contacted and continues to contact the NCA for comments, but officials are yet to honor our request for an interview. You're still listening to the Midday News. Let's move on to some other stories. Ranking member on the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health, Kwabena Mintah Kando, has dismissed an allegation that members of the committee received 100,000 Ghana cedi honorarium from the National Health Insurance Authority. A document described as a leaked memo captures a request by the Director of Budget at the NHIA requesting the release of the money to the MPs after a meeting with officials of the authority. Mr. Akando says he was not a member of the committee on the said date, but his checks with his colleagues suggest no such incident occurred.
March 25th. Yes. I've seen another memo which is 19th March, but that's notwithstanding, even March, as at March 2019, I was not a member of the committee. The ranking then was reshuffled before I came in. Okay. So that's number one. Number two, I contacted the ranking member who was there at the time, and he says to me that he doesn't know anything about it. Yesterday, this news got...
Is it anything about the meeting or about the money paid to members, allegedly?
As for sitting on National Health Insurance formula, it's our duty.
Okay.
So every year we do it.
So what he doesn't know
is that any money...
And can you give me a name? This former...
Ranking, Honorable Lecturer.
Okay.
So I contacted him yesterday. I spoke to him. I said, I've heard this thing because I was not a member of the committee at the time. He said, no, he doesn't remember anything. And the committee members, both majority and minority, I've asked a number of them, especially those who were at our meeting yesterday.
Okay. But you do take honorarium. You take... when you meet organizations like this, they give you something.
No, not that I know.
Really?
No, that I know.
You don't get envelopes?
No.
That's a ranking member on the Health Committee of Parliament, Kwabena Mintah Kando, there speaking to Mama Vio Uswabwaji on News Desk on the Joy News channel. Now, if you often drive around town, you probably would have seen the glaring danger motorbike and tricycle riders pose to other road users and themselves, and the disregard drivers have for such people. The riders are experts at running the red light and cutting in front of other vehicles. The danger is accidents involving motorbikes and tricycles often result in serious injuries and sometimes death. In our hashtag Arrive Alive campaign today, we bring you the story of two brothers who rode tricycle in Kumasi but today cannot walk again after an accident. A story by Love FM's Nana Asenso, read to you.
31-year-old Alhassan Umar and his 29-year-old brother Mustafa Umar live here with their 70-year-old mother. The two siblings rode a commercial tricycle, popularly known as Mahama Kambu, in the Ashanti regional capital of Kumasi. Income from the business takes care of the family, but none of them can ride again due to injuries they sustained in separate accidents. Alhassan Umar now walks with the aid of a pair of crutches.
I was headed to the post office from Mampong. I was riding with two passengers in my lane when a driver I suspect was drunk. Sped into my lane. His brakes failed and his car crashed into ours, injuring the passengers. I was affected in the hands, waist and knees. The other passengers were also injured in similar places. We were transported to the hospital and the doctors spent a long time taking care of us. It took us quite some time to recover.
So me da G for almost 4 months and some want to meet me. Mamma no so almost after almost 1 month. And so almost say me da am here to say meet me dey. Meet me kaka.
You heard the excerpts of the latest Hotline documentary, Tricycle Invasion, a story by Love FM's Nana Asenso, set for broadcast on Monday on the Joy News channel. But still on accidents, Ashanti Regional Police Public Relations Officer ASP Godwin Ahianyo is committing to promote strict enforcement of wearing of seatbelts as he joins the Joy News Arrive Alive campaign. He recounts how he and other personnel survived what he describes as a traumatic accident on the Cape Coast Kumasi Road, which he says they survived because they were wearing seatbelts. First, listen to how seatbelts saved ASP Ahianyo and his colleagues.
I was returning from Cape Coast for an assignment. Then we saw an image in the middle of the road. We didn't know what it was. Then there was an oncoming vehicle approaching us. The next thing we saw was that something had covered the windscreen of our vehicle, the pickup in which we were. So the driver lost control. It tossed him on 3 or so occasions before we ended up in a ditch. Luckily for us, we were in our seatbelts.
He has since joined the Arrive Alive campaign by becoming a seatbelt ambassador.
It's a good thing that you are doing multimedia, you're doing your man's job. It is a good campaign and I want to be a part of it. And I will use this medium to advise every passenger, wherever you are traveling to. Anytime you sit behind your steering wheel as a driver, you put on a seatbelt. As a passenger, make sure your seatbelt is worn, because the seatbelt actually saved my life.
You heard there the Ashanti Regional Police Public Relations Officer ASP Godwin Ahianyo. Remember, the Joy News Arrive Alive campaign project is aimed at reducing accidents on Ghana's roads.
Tell me, will it hurt when your bumper crumbles, your headlights shatter, and your engine block is driven backwards, crushing every single bone in your legs? Will it hurt when your steering wheel squashes your chest and your lungs are punctured by the sharp ends of your own broken ribs? Will it hurt when your head snaps forward and smashes into the dashboard, forcing several tiny shards of fractured skull into your brain? When your victims' lives are shattered irreparably, when your family is bereaved tragically, tell me, will it hurt? Road accidents kill thousands of Ghanaians each year, and all these deaths are avoidable. When we act irresponsibly on our roads, we don't just jeopardize our own lives, but those around us. and those at home waiting for us. So ask yourself, will you make it home tonight? Because if you don't, trust me, it will hurt. Be a safe driver. Be a responsible passenger. Look out for yourselves and each other. Arrive alive. Arrive Alive is a Joy Road Safety campaign.
Now, passengers on commercial vehicles, speak up. If you smell leaking fuel, speak up. If you smell latent fire, speak up. Warn the driver against dangerous overtaking. We want you to hashtag Arrive Alive. Now, let's clean Kumasi. 7 chop bars and 2 milling machine operators at the Asafo Neoplan area in the Ashanti regional capital are to face legal action for preparing and selling food in insanitary conditions. The move is part of a renewed action by the KMA, Love FM and Insure FM sanitation enforcement team to rid the city of filth and improve food hygiene across Kumasi. The team sees food sold in filthy environment at the popular Asafo Neoplan bus terminal. Love FM's Erastus Asari Donko followed the team, and here's his report.
The Asafo Neoplan bus terminal is host to many eateries, popularly called chop bars. It is also home to some of the most unhygienic places in the city. The sanitation enforcement team uncovered food sold in many of the chop bars were prepared in the midst of unimaginably filthy environment. Foul-smelling, choked gutters filled with decomposing organic matter sits at the center of these spaces which serve as kitchen for these eateries. Just within the premises of some of the chop bars, we found foul-smelling stagnated pools of water just a smelling distance from where clients sit to eat.
Look at the place. Look at the whole environment. Why do you cook and sell to the public under this environment? And we are going to close the entire facility. We don't want to allow you to.
In the midst of this squalor, the food being sold was uncovered, forcing leader of the team and the Metro Environmental Health Officer Isaac Basanyin to order for the seizure of food prepared for sale.
So what do you say? Why expose them? Maybe I don't know one in the environment. I know you are not so near. Emma won't know. Emma won't talk about Mamma for. Who is that here? It is what to an Mamma for now in Sena Yama. Your best is at the end of every say. Faisal. Now, yeah, they work court. Let's dismantle the whole thing. The whole thing must be dismantled.
2 commercial milling machines found to be milling vegetables at the terminal, dirty, rusty, and tied with filthy looking clothing. In all, 7 chop bars and 2 milling machine operators were served with summons to appear before court next week. Leader of the team, Isaac Basanyin, had a warning for food vendors.
We've come to this bar, chop bar. One, the water that they are using in selling is very, very bad. When you go there, there's a well not protected, unhygienic. It's a well that at least every human being should not use that to cook for public consumption, or even individual consumption is not the best. And then the items within where they are cooking is very bad. So we think we need to close the entire facility for them to change everything before we can, to improve on whatever they have done before we can ask them. However, we are asking them to come to court. We have issued a summons for them to come to court. We want to explain why they are using, 1, that water in cooking to the public, 2, in cooking within this filthy environment. We think it's not the best. People need to change.
Your area could be next. Keep Kumasi clean. Make Kumasi clean again.
Stories we've looked at so far here on the Midday News. Communication Ministry justifies shutdown of Radio Tongue in the Volta region as it says the NCA had the right to close down the community radio station from promoting separatist agenda. Still to come, love brewed in the political pot. We bring you the story behind the marriage of the Deputy National Youth Organizer of the NDC and staunch member of the NPP, Mami Efiakoto.
With this love that we have, I believe it is a love that would go till the end of the road, till the end of time.
And also, journalism meets poetry as we prepare to host patrons for this year's Joy Love Experience at the Labadi Beach Hotel in a Valentine's Day treat. We hear from some members of the Joy Newsroom who have been weaving together some love poems for their spouses.
You're my center like sports. You make me super every morning.
I will always headline your name on the front page of my heart.
I will write your name on my heart. It will be a breaking news story.
UMB was established in 1972 as the premier bank for the corporate and private sector in Ghana. From our very beginning, as the only Ghanaian bank serving all categories of businesses, we set a standard for excellence and innovation over the past 45 years. We've built a financially healthy and strong bank, demonstrated our commitment to our customers and to growing businesses, and exhibited originality and innovation at every turn. At UMB, our focus is built around people, service, products, and technology. These are the key to our present success and our future triumphs. At UMB, we're poised to make a difference not only with our customers, but also in the banking industry. We invite you to share in our future. Our future starts now with you.
Time now for sports on the Midday News. Hans.
Former Communications Director of the Ghana Football Association, Ibrahim Sani Dara, has been appointed as the CAF Media Officer for the 2020 CAF Super Club to be played in the Qatari capital of Doha later tonight. Now, CAF has deployed its best match officials for the game between the two winners of the Continent Club competition, as the most competent administrators are chosen for such high-profile matches and events. As part of his duties, he will lead and direct the media operations of CAF during the match, as well as at that of the two clubs before and after the game, while providing the media with all the necessary assistance to make their work smooth. So the former journalist has already been working on some of CAF's media operations, as well as the media experts panel, which serves as the media advisory body for the Confederation of African Football. That's your sport.
Thank you very much, Hans. Now, from politicians to corporate executives and entertainers, the multimedia group continues to make stars. As we celebrate 25 years of existence, dancehall artist Stonebwoy has been sharing how the brand has shaped his career.
You know we come from far, we don't watch nobody. I'm one of the persons who is supposed to be forever grateful for the inception of multimedia, which is Adom FM. If I was ever heard on radio for the first time, Adom FM gave me the opportunity. Hear me tell them to continue to do your wine. Let your body, my girl, no one can stop the shine. To a large extent, I've rendered my respect and my loyalty to Hits FM by, coming on there to break my news and all these things. So I'm super thankful for the support for the industry, for myself, from as far back as 2004 till 2020. 16 years, you guys have supported me. After you make it, better what will you keep around you? Nobody ever fake it. Just time come, them not sticking with you. Don't come in late. If you know how to with me from the beginning. I was actually brought to limelight on your platform, Kasahari by Dr. Duncan. Thank you for being in my life for 16 years. Thank you. Half of my age, you guys have been in my life. If I die today, I'm a hero. I'm a hero. If I die today,
What is your joy story? Please share them with us via WhatsApp is 0244340437. And that's how newlyweds Deputy National Organizer of the NDC, Chief Hamilton Baini, and Communications Member of the NPP and Deputy Maslok CEO, Mami Emefa joined host of the Adom TV morning show, Bidrim, to sign out. It is love brewed in a political pot, a drink the soulmates say will never run out. The Wednesday marriage ceremony of the two brought together top members of the two rival political parties. In an interview with Joining Us today, Mami Emefa stated their marriage is a symbol of political unity and a lesson for party members not to be blinded by partisanship.
The people out there, the world around us should know that we differ in ideology and not enemies. We've created too much tension in this country that, Ghana doesn't deserve us going on that path. We need people who will step up and say, hey, the whole thing is discussion or ideas, not a battle. We are not on a battlefield. And if our love, we could look beyond political differences and let love rule. Why can't you do it out there? Why can't you do it in your corner? Why can't you just overlook at the other person who may have said something because he's an NDC person against you or against B, and just embrace that person and let the person know that, hey, we are here to battle with the brain.
Now we can hear Chief Hamilton Baini.
Political opening. We started through some political discourse, if you like. On one of the programs, he said something that I realized that she's a woman that one can trust, because I realized that she moves with God, understand. She's a woman of Christ. And so since then, I decided to look beyond politics to understand what I am looking at. And that's why you find us today as husband and wife. It's been way back when my political party was in Gulf 2016 till now. So you can imagine we've been going out for some time now. And now is the right time for us to tie the knot, officially be declared as husband and wife. So this is our story.
And that's the story of Mami Fiakoto and Chief Baini. And love is in the air. Journalism is meeting poetry at this point as we prepare to host patrons for this year's Joy Love Experience at the Labadi Beach Hotel in a Valentine's Day treat. Some members of the Joy News team have been weaving together some love poems for their partners and spouses. If you thought we are only good with a microphone and the camera, listen to this.
You're my heart desire. You're my life wire. Your love is true.
You're my center like sports. You're the business I report. You make me super every morning. My biggest story.
Your love is always a breaking news story. Your precious looks, the teaser. Your smile is compelling content. I will always headline your name on the front page of my heart. Kathy, you are my perfect big story.
Step into my studio and let us soundproof our love. I will place my throbbing microphone at your glistening lips, and as you speak of love's luscious promise, I will grant our hearts an audience. Let my loyalty echo in your ears like a jolly jingle, and may our spirits soar higher and higher until the lights flash on, warning the world our love is live on air.
To my sweetheart Matilda, my love will penetrate your heart like Evans Mensah would do with his top story, and soothe you like Doreen Andor on the Cosmopolitan Mix.
You are the headline of my life bulletin. This bulletin will not end until I play your package. No matter how long it takes for you to render, I will wait.
I will write your name on my heart, headline it. It will be a breaking news story.
You are the headline of my life, and when I see you, you render me speechless.
You're my heart desire. You're my life wire. Your love is true. You got me feeling so blue.
And it's going down tonight. I'm sure you want more of the poem. Come join us at the Labadi Beach Hotel. We'll all be there. It starts at 7 p.m. And there are still last-minute tickets on sale. I know you want to buy your tickets at the last minute. We have it available. 700 Ghana cedi for couples who want to wine and dine and enjoy the concert. And 2,000 Ghana cedis for those of us who want to have bed and breakfast on the beach after the concert. Headlined by Becca and Kwabena. Please call 024 343-0337 for more inquiries. Let's meet there tonight. Please, let's meet there. Komla Adom, I want to hear your poem first.
You're the love of my life.
Mm-hmm.
When I do the 6 a.m. news, you'll be the top story. And I'll love you forever.
And you wake me up every morning. What's trending on social media?
Hashtag Valentine with nobody is trending. Number one, also Valentine's Day 2020 is also trending. The Table Shaker says, when Sim 1 finally met Sim 2, the thing you have turned to Royal Rumble. Sit back and relax, grab a glass of wine like me, and we celebrate our Valentines alone. Another one from Makeen says, Valentine with nobody is not a problem. The problem starts when you see everyone is in love except for you. He sent a meme of a cat with a toothbrush. And let me take one final one. A month, not Barry, tweets. He says, how many of us are spending Valentine's Day alone? He asks. retweet if you are on the team. Then Mama Ba comes to tweet and says, me all day. Put some emojis there. You can't come and stress my stress. Hashtag Valentine's with nobody.
And it's Happy Chocolate Day. A piece of my heart is saved just for you. That's it for the midday news here on Joy 99.7 FM. I am Emefa Apawu. Dr. Mensa Otabil has living words. Join us at the Labadi Beach Hotel tonight.